It's 21 to 3, Jazz Radio, 94.1 FM. And about this time every week, we're going to be interviewing some of the Gold Coast identities and some really interesting people over the next few weeks. And starting today, we have Bill Newman on the line. Now, Bill Newman established himself over the years, becoming a household name in both Australia and overseas, probably successful in just about every spectrum of the entertainment industry that he was involved in. And you'll probably remember him in the 60s, appearing in the very popular show with Bobby Lim, The Sound of Music. Bobby Lim's Sound of Music, you appeared on that show for 8 years as the leading male singer. Tell us a little bit about your experiences on that show.
Oh, well, when I was auditioned by Bobby Lim and the agency called NLT, it was only supposed to run for 8 weeks. And it ran actually for 8.5 years. So it's quite a record. We received the music on Friday night. We rehearsed with the orchestra on Saturday morning. Went into Channel 9 on Monday morning. We rehearsed all day. And when it first started, we put the show together in front of a live audience at night. And for 8.5 years, it was all recorded.
Yeah, and Bill, you won a Logie in 1964 for Best Male Singer in Australia. What was that like? That must have been great.
Yes, I'm very thrilled about that one, and my wife found it in the garage all covered in green verdigris a couple of years ago, and she's polished it all up, now has pride of place. But it was for being awarded the most popular male singer on Australian television in that year.
Yeah, and you also appeared on the stage in London as well.
Oh, yes. That was an earlier part of my life, actually. I was a leading man for J.C. Williamson's in the shows called Paint Your Wagon, Can, and The Pyjama Game. My leading lady was Tony Lamond, who was lovely. And after that, there was nothing for me with J.C. Williamson's in Australia, so I packed up and went off to England. And the BBC immediately put me under contract, and I sang every radio program on the BBC that's possible to sing. Tuesday Tune Time, Midday Melody Hour, Friday night is Music Night, etc., etc. But in those days, this is before they knew how to record, it was live to air. And if you stop to think about it, you're singing not only to England, Scotland and Wales and Ireland, but half of Europe as well, which was a bit scary if you stop to think about it.
Yeah, well, it would be extremely scary. Were there any mistakes during that time?
Oh, well, no, you reminded me. I was doing a program with Sydney Torch, the great conductor, and he was conducting the BBC Concert Orchestra. And like I said, it's live to air, and I was singing a duet with a lovely young lady called Cherry Lind, a soubrette, and the duet was, "Who wants to be a millionaire? I do. Have flashy flunkies everywhere? I do." And after the broadcast, which was an hour, the producer came to me and said, "Mr. Newman, you did make a mistake in the lyrics on that first song, in the duet." I said, "I beg your pardon, did I?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Well," he said, you sing it to me again, and I'll tell you where you went wrong." So I said, "Who wants to be a millionaire? I do. Have flashy flunkies." That's where it was. You said flunky flashies. Can you believe that? I still don't believe it till this day, but I obviously did.
Yeah, well, probably the producer was the only one who picked it up.
Well, he was the only one that knew, because he had the lyrics written in front of him, you see.
And tell us about some of the people you've worked with over the years.
Well, there was Nat King Cole, and one of my favourites was Frankie Lane. He was a gentleman, and he was very popular on radio years ago. He made popular the song "Mule Train, clippity-clopping over hills and dales," etc., etc., But he was lovely to work with. And, the mind boggles. Alma Cogan was another lady in England that I thought a great deal of. She was really lovely.
And are you doing much singing these days?
Can you believe?
Apart from on this station?
I'm singing a few songs on Sunday, but when you're 108 like me, there's not much call for an elderly baritone actor, no. But on Sunday, I'm singing for a friend of mine who's having an 80th birthday. And what I do now is I still keep the voice up there, and I still vocalize and practice, but I only sing now for my friends.
Well, that's sometimes the best way to do it, isn't it? And what are your interests in music, Bill?
What are my interests in music?
These days. What sort of music do you like?
Pretty well everything, especially what you're playing at 94.1 there. We have it on from morning till night. We love the music that comes from there. And let me congratulate you on your choice of music that you play for us.
Well, thanks, Bill. That's always great to hear. And you were on the club circuit for quite a long time, and also on cruise ships as well. That must have been interesting.
That's right, yes. Well, the club circuit in Sydney, when it first started, was absolutely remarkable, because it was the only place in the world, as a singer-entertainer, that you could go out to the job, sing, get paid, and come home and sleep in your own bed. If you worked anywhere else in the world, you could do a season, then you would rest, and probably the next job could have been in Japan, because that's what happened in those days. But the club circuit was wonderful in that respect, yes.
Well, Bill, it's been wonderful to talk to you, and great to hear about all your experiences, and I hope you keep listening to Jazz Radio 94.1 FM.
Oh, we certainly will. There's only one question you haven't asked me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
My age.
Well, I thought
I always say 108, but actually I'm 83.
Well, you're doing incredibly well for 83, and I hope you have many more happy years here on the Gold Coast, and keep singing.
Thanks, John. Thank you very, very much. And we do appreciate your choice of music and the station in general. Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure, Bill. Thanks very much for talking to us.
Bye.
You're listening to John Reed on Jazz Radio 94.1 FM.